Hi, my name's Sarah DeBorre and welcome to Sarah DeBorre Yoga. We've got the gorgeous Jessie dog hanging out with us. She's just been for a morning walk and a morning swim, so she's pretty happy right now, aren't you, Jess? And today we are going to be working on a slow Vinyasa flow. So we'll be working to open up through the shoulders, and we'll also work on our balance, which is really important in terms of building our core strength and awareness in our body. So we are going to start today in a simple toe stretch. So we're going to get straight into it today. So a toe stretch, if you're not familiar, we are just going to tuck our toes and sit our butt back down onto our heels. Now, as you come down into this pose, I want you to grab those little pinky toes and just pull them out a little bit so that they also get in on this sweet stretching action. And if this is really way too intense for you, then just bring your butt up off of your heels. So this will still work into the stretch, just maybe a little less intensely. So settling back down onto your heels though, if you're going for the little bit more intense version. And we'll just give it a few moments, a few breaths to really open up through those toes. Let's take a breath in and arms reach up overhead. And on the exhale, right arm comes to the back, left arm to the front, just coming into an open twist. Maybe taking the gaze over the right shoulder. Inhale, arms come back through center and up and overhead. And exhale, left arm back, right arm forward. Inhale back through center. Let's do that again. Exhale, right arm to the back, left arm forward. Inhale, arms back through center. And exhale, left arm back, right arm forward. Hello, Jess. Inhale, arms back through center. And exhale, hands come down to the mat. Let's just pitter-patter our toes on the mat just to get some blood flow back and massage out through the tops of those toes. Now we are going to come through around a cat-cow. So let's get into our neutral tabletop position. Knees are in line with hips and wrists underneath our shoulders. Let me get rid of this hat. Our weather is certainly starting to warm up, so having my hat with me is always good. So on the breath in, let's dip the belly, the gaze comes up. And exhale, tucking everything under. Inhale to dip the belly. And exhale to tuck everything under. Inhale, dips the belly. And exhale to tuck everything under. 2 more. Breath in to dip the belly. And exhale, tucking everything under. Really arching through that spine. 1 more. Breath in to dip the belly. And exhale to tuck everything under. We're just going to slink our arms forward now. So leaving the hips where they are, directly above the knees, we're coming into our puppy pose. So arms might reach off of the mat. And letting our chest sink down towards the mat. The forehead can rest on the mat if you've got the space. And we're really opening up through the shoulders here. If you've got a little bit of extra room, you can come to your chin. So resting your chin on the mat. But if that's too intense, then please just come back to your forehead resting on the mat. So taking a few deep breaths in here. So breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. In through the nose and out through the nose. And on the next inhale, staying low to the mat, let's slink all the way forward into our Sphinx. And in our Sphinx, we have got our shoulders directly in line with our elbows. And in this Sphinx, let's keep it a little bit gentle. So no need to engage through the toes. If you're feeling any pressure on the lower back, two recommendations here. One is to really push the pubic bone into the mat, which will alleviate some of that bend in the lower back. And otherwise you can just wriggle your arms a little bit more forward so that your elbows aren't underneath your shoulders. Just warming up through our back here. I don't know if you can hear them on camera, but the cicadas are going nuts today. And let's all tuck ourselves back into our child's pose. So big toes to touch, knees come out wide, arms reach out in front of us. And let's make this a little bit of an active child's pose today. So coming up onto the fingertips so that your arms are off of the mat, your palms as well off of the mat. So really drawing those fingertips into the mat, and it's like you're pulling the mat back towards you. Maybe walking them a little bit forward, so walking your hands a little bit forward just to really feel that stretch through the arms. And you should feel that all the way down through to the armpits. And let's walk those fingertips now over to the right. And as you walk those hands over to the right, really making sure that you're drawing that left hip back and down towards the heel so that you feel that opening up through the left side body. Walking the hands now back through to center and over to the left. Drawing that right hip down now towards the right heel so that you feel that stretch all the way through the right side. Hands come back through to center. And let's just walk our hands back to the knees so that we are sitting back on our knees. Let's breathe in, arms reach up, and exhale, right fingertips come down to the ground as the left arm sweeps up and overhead, taking a really nice juicy side stretch. And maybe taking that gaze underneath the left armpit. So we're not caving in, our body's not leaning forward. We're looking up towards the sky, staying nice and straight. Both arms come back up overhead. And on the exhale, left fingertips come to the ground as the right arm stretches up and overhead, taking that nice side stretch. Maybe taking the gaze underneath the right armpit. So there's this slight spiraling action where we're spiraling the chest up towards the sky or towards the ceiling. And both arms come back up and overhead and hands through heart center, our Anjali Mudra. Maybe shutting down the eyes just for a moment here. And if you're working with an intention, now would be the time to set that. We'll come through a short counted breath pattern just to get ourselves started. So let's exhale now and breathing in. 2, 3, 4, out. 2, 3, 4, In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. And continuing with this counted breath pattern for a few more rounds on your own. You can choose to lengthen or shorten that breath pattern to suit your body. But we're just aiming for an inhalation that matches our exhalation. And it's just a good way to settle our body before we get further into our movement. And finishing up with a final round. And gently blinking the eyes open. Let's come back up and over into our tabletop, walking the hands, maybe one hand print further in front of us before we tuck our toes and press up into our first downward facing dog. So taking a bit of a pedal through those legs. Maybe it's a fast pedal, maybe it's slow. You might like to just bend through one knee deeply while you straighten the other leg. Just aiming to open up through the backs of our legs. Settling into stillness. Let's walk our hands to the back of the mat. And inhale, halfway lift, hands come to shins, flat back. Really drawing those shoulder blades together. We'll stay here just for a couple of breaths. So I really want you to think about drawing those shoulder blades, especially the lower point of the shoulder blade, together. Your neck is neutral, so your gaze should be facing just down towards the mat. Lower belly draws in. One more breath in. And exhale to fold, hands come back to the mat. This time let's take an interlace of the hands behind the back, so making that little fist with your hands. And then we're going to draw that fist up and over the back, maybe taking a bit of a bend in the knees, letting the head dangle. So we're really opening up through the front of the shoulders here. You might like to sway that fist even from side to side. Just feeling into your body and taking any gentle movement here that might feel good. Remembering we're not holding any tension in that neck. So really letting go through the head and neck. Let's release the bind of the fingers. Hands come back down to the mat. Left hand plants on the mat. And right arm reaches to the sky. We take a generous bend in the left knee as the right leg straightens. On the exhale, right hand comes to the mat as the right knee bends, left arm reaches to the sky, left leg straightens. Left hand comes to the mat. Let's do this with breath. Right arm reaches to the sky. And exhale, right hand to the mat, left hand comes up to the sky. Exhale, left hand down, right hand up. Right hand down and left hand reaches up once more. And left hand down to the mat. Inhale, half lift, hands to shins. And exhale to fold. Inhale, arms reach all the way up and overhead. And exhale, hands through heart center, our Anjali Mudra. Breath in, arms reach up. And exhale, folding all the way down to the mat. Inhale, half lift. and exhale to fold. Let's walk ourselves all the way out to our high plank. Wrists are in line with our shoulders, or maybe our shoulders are just a little bit further forward. Our lower belly draws in and up, and our butt isn't too high up. We want to keep that down. You can drop to your knees if this is too much. One more breath here. And let's all drop our knees to the mat, untuck the toes, and we're slowly lowering to the mat for a count of 5, 4, elbows brush the ribs, 3, 2, and 1. Let's take our hands nice and wide today off of the mat, so roughly about, 40 or 50 centimeters off to the side, and we're making little tent hands with our fingers. So the palms are off of the mat, plug the toes firmly into the mat so that the knees lift off. Breath in, coming up into our cobra, and exhale, coming back down to the mat. Breath in, lifting up, really squeezing those shoulder blades together. And exhale to come back down. One more breath in. And exhale to come back down to the mat. Hands come back underneath shoulders and pushing up through tabletop, back to our down dog. Breath in, let's all bend our knees. Exhale, draw the belly in and up, and then we step or walk to the top of our mat. Breath in, half lift. And exhale to fold. Breath in, arms reach up. And exhale, let's fold all the way back down to the mat. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, stepping back 1 foot at a time into our high plank. Knees on or off the mat. We lower chaturanga, elbows brush the ribs. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. And exhale, back to our down dog. Once we're in our down dog, just settling in, let's take a few breaths here. Making sure that we're really drawing those heels towards the mat. Armpits wrap in to face each other. Belly draws in. And on the next inhale, right leg lifts. And exhale, peel open that hip, taking the heel towards our butt, opening up through that hip. Right toes are flexed. Let's take that right knee a little higher. And exhale, right knee taps right elbow. Inhale, send the leg back. And exhale, right knee taps left elbow. Inhale, send the leg back. And exhale, right knee to chest. Let's step that foot forward. Drop the back knee, arms raise up into our low lunge. Left glute really fires up, so that's really engaged here. And there's that scissoring in of the legs. So we're really drawing the right leg in by pushing the foot firmly into the mat. Let's all bend through the right arm, taking the left hand on top of that right elbow. And we'll use the left hand to really draw that elbow down our back. So the hand goes down the back, pushing our head maybe a little bit in to that right arm, drawing the belly in and up. And arms release back up and overhead. Hands come down to the mat. Fingertips frame that front foot. We'll tuck the back toes and press up into our runner's lunge. Breath in to beam the heart forward. Left leg is really strong. You should feel that nice opening up through the front of the left hip. And on the next exhale, let's straighten through the front leg into our pyramid pose. So you might need to walk those hands back, remembering that you can take a number of different options here. You can have the front leg bent any amount in order to reach the floor, and you can step the back leg in. If you're stepping that back leg in, then taking that 45-degree angled turn of the foot so that it points off to the side. But if you're staying on the ball of the back foot, then that heel is super lifted. It's like you're wearing a mega pair of stilettos. So staying really high on that back foot. And all of us, no matter where our feet are placed, we're working to draw the left hip forward and the right hip back. One more breath here. And on the exhale, let's bend back through the right knee. Left hand plants on the ground, right arm reaches to the sky into the simple twist. So our left leg is really active. That left glute is switching on. Maybe the gaze comes up towards the right fingers, but the sun is in my eyes, so I'm going to keep my eyes shut. And on the exhale, the right arm sweeps towards the back of the mat. It does a big circle all the way around, back down to the mat. And let's step the right foot back to our downward facing dog. Breath in, left leg lifts. And exhale, let's peel open that hip, bending at the knee, taking the heel towards our butt, leveling off through the shoulders. Drawing the right heel towards the mat and maybe lifting that left knee a little higher. And on the exhale, left knee taps the left elbow. Inhale, shoot it back. Left knee taps the right elbow. Inhale, shoot it back. Left knee to the chest. Hold, and stepping that foot between our hands, dropping the back knee, low lunge. Arms reaching up and overhead. Right glute is strong. Left heel pushes into the mat, and we're drawing that left heel in towards the body. Left elbow bends. We take that left hand between the shoulder blades. Right hand rests on top of the elbow. And the right hand is working to draw that hand further down the back. Maybe resting the head into the back of that arm. We're drawing that lower belly in. And releasing the arms back up and overhead to our low lunge. Hands come down to the mat, fingertips frame the left foot. We tuck the back toes and push up into our runner's lunge. Breath in, let's beam that heart forward. Right leg is really active here, so that right glute is firing on. The right leg is straight, there's no bend in that knee. And you should feel that nice opening through the front of the right hip now. And on the exhale, straightening through the left leg, maybe walking those fingertips back a little into our pyramid. Remembering that you have those different options that you can take. If we're staying high on the right toes, the back toes, then that foot is super high, so we've got the big lift to the heel. Otherwise, you can step that foot in for some extra stability and take the sole of the foot to the mat. Remembering you can have as much of a bend through that front knee as you need in order to get down to the mat. But we're all keeping our hips square to the top edge of the mat. So left hip draws back, right hip forward. I don't know if you can see Jess on camera, but she is tuckered out this morning, absolutely dead to the world. Oh, just stirred. She must have heard me. And on the next exhale, let's bend through that front knee. Right hand plants on the mat. Left arm reaches to the sky, simple twist. So really keeping that right leg active. And we're really working to peel that chest open. So taking some of the, I guess, the back of your left hand, we want to sort of like push back a little bit more. Gaze can be up towards the ceiling or down towards the mat if that's better on your neck. And we're really strongly pushing through that right hand here. On the next exhale, let's windmill that left arm to the back of the mat and all the way down to the floor. Hand places down as we step back into our down dog. Let's take a flow, so breath in, ripple forward to our high plank. Knees on or off the mat, let's lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. And exhale back to our down dog. Breathing in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3. 2 more breaths here, in, and out. In and out. And breath in, bend your knees. Exhale, pull up through the belly and step, hop or walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift and exhale to fold. Inhale, arms reach up and overhead. And exhale, our hands out to a T this time. So bringing our arms out, it's like we're flying, I guess, but our palms are facing forward. Let's all take a bend through our knees. So it's not a full chair, but just a little mini chair. And then let's face our palms to the back of the mat now, and let's push back. So it's like we're kind of doing a weird breaststroke. And we're really drawing those shoulder blades in together. On the inhale, we'll come back up to standing, so straighten through the legs and the palms face to the front, arms back to our normal T. So we'll do that with a movement to breath. So breath in, bend the knees, palms face back. Let's push those shoulder blades back together. And inhale, coming back up, palms to the front. Exhale, hands push back. And inhale, standing back up. Once more, exhale. And inhale. This time we'll take an eagle wrap of the arms. So the right arm is coming underneath the left. And then palms to touch. If the palms don't touch though, backs of the hands are totally fine, or taking hold of opposite shoulders. So let's really draw that lower belly in, glutes are engaged. And let's take those elbows up to sort of shoulder height if you can. And maybe just taking a little gentle back bend. Coming back down to neutral. Let's take the arms back out to a T. And this time we're just switching it up to the opposite side. So this time our left arm wraps underneath the right, palms to touch. Bringing those elbows up to shoulder height, engaging the glutes, drawing the lower belly in, maybe taking a gentle back bend. And exhale, coming back to standing, unraveling the arms. They reach up and overhead. And exhale, folding all the way back down to the mat. Let's inhale, half lift. And exhale to fold. Let's step back one leg at a time to our high plank. Knees on or off, lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. And exhale back to our down dog. Breath in, right leg lifts. And exhale, right knee taps right elbow. Inhale, shoot it back. Right knee to left elbow. Inhale, send it back. Right knee to chest. And stepping that foot through, dropping the back knee, low lunge. Let's take the eagle wrap of the arms here now. So the arms come out to our T and they wrap around, left arm underneath the right, palms to touch, or the backs of the hands, or taking hold of our shoulders. Drawing that belly in, left glute is engaged. Releasing the clasp of the arms or the hands, and we're simply going to straighten through the front leg as our fingertips come to the mat into our half Hanuman. You might need to shift that leg a little bit forward, and really working to draw that little pinky toe on the right foot in towards the shin, so our toes are really nice and flexed here. Breath in, halfway lift, flattening out that back, and exhale to fold in a bit deeper. Remembering you can tuck the back toes for extra stability here. One more breath. And on the exhale, bending back through that front leg to our low lunge. Arms reach up and overhead. Let's all tuck the back toes if they're not already, and we're going to use the strength of our glutes to push ourselves up into our high lunge. So choose that spot in front of you that's not moving for laser focus, and then let's lift up when you're ready. Remember, you can have that gentle bend in the back knee, but the left glute is really fired on here. One more breath here. Breathing in, and on the exhale, straightening the front leg. We hinge at the hips, coming back down to the mat into our pyramid. Left foot is high this time, so remember you can have as much of a bend through that front knee as you need to reach the mat. One more breath. And let's all bend through the left knee. We come down, back to the mat, low lunge, arms reach up and overhead. One more breath here. And exhale, hands come to the mat. Let's tuck the back toes, right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Opening up the hip, bending at the knee, taking the right heel towards our butt. And on the next exhale, left knee to chest, foot steps through for warrior two. Arms windmill up and open as we anchor the back foot. Just checking our alignment. So we want heel to heel alignment and a nice long stance. The back foot is at 45, but we want to bring those toes in a little bit. So 45, what am I talking about? 90. So we're at a 90-degree angle to the mat, to the front foot. Arms reach out, and let's work to draw those shoulder blades in a little bit, but down. So we don't want them hunched up around our ears. Lower belly draws in, and let's edge that right knee out to the right a little. On the breath in, let's straighten through the front leg and reach forward for length as we come down into a Trikonasana triangle. So the back of the right hand works to push into the side of the right shin as we sort of lever ourselves open. And the belly draws in. Our inner thighs are really active here, so it's like we're drawing our legs in together. And on the next exhale, coming back to warrior two, bending through the front knee. Right forearm comes to rest on top of the right thigh, left arm sweeps up and overhead and immediately rolls right back around into our half bind. So in the half bind, your fingertips can come to that hip crease, so the right hip crease, or the back of the hand can rest on the sacrum, or alternatively you can just take hold of your leggings or your shorts or whatever you're wearing. But making sure that we're not dumping the weight into the right knee. So keeping that right knee tracking out towards the right. And really engaging that right glute. Let's all step the back leg in, just a couple of feet. Looking down towards the mat now, our left hand is going to stay bound if it's bound or at the back or holding onto our pants as the right hand comes down towards the mat looking for our half moon. So left leg comes up. Really keeping the left toes flexed. That's going to help with your stability, as is having that left glute engaged and the belly drawing in. The gaze can be down towards the mat, or you might like to take it up towards the sky. You can unravel the bind, if you like, of the left arm. One more breath here. And exhale, left foot steps to the top of the mat into our forward fold. Maybe just jiggling out through those legs. You might like to even give them a little bit of a slap to get some blood flow back. Let's breathe in, half lift, and exhale to fold. Inhale, arms reach all the way up and overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center, our Anjali Mudra. Let's just shut down the eyes for just a moment in Tadasana, hands by our side, palms face forward. And arms reach up and overhead as we blink our eyes open and exhale, hands to heart center. We are going to search for our eagle pose now. So with that in mind, let's really plant down through that left foot. So the left toes are spreading nice and wide. That foot is really anchoring into the mat. And we'll draw the right knee into the chest. There are two options here. So option one is that we can take an open eagle. So right ankle to the left knee, and we can just sit back here. We can keep the hands at prayer, or we'll take the full version, which means wrapping the right knee over the left. And if you're able to, you can tuck the right toes behind the back of the left shin, but that might not be available for you. It's certainly not available for me. And arms can either stay at prayer or bring them out to a T as we wrap the left arm underneath the right and take the clasp of the palms or the back of the hands or hands to opposite shoulders. So really having that laser focus, maybe working to squat into the pose a little deeper. So really tucking yourself into a little ball. You can bring those elbows all the way down to the knees. And let's work to unravel. So standing back up, arms release, and foot comes back down to the mat. Arms reach up and overhead. And exhale, let's hinge at the hips to fold all the way back down to the mat. Inhale, half lift. And exhale to fold, stepping back to our high plank. Knees on or off the mat. Let's lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. And exhale back to our down dog. And breath in, left leg lifts. And exhale, left knee taps left elbow. Inhale, shoot it back. Left knee taps right elbow. Inhale, shoot it back. And left knee to the chest this time to step through and dropping the back knee, low lunge. Arms reach up and overhead. Really engaging that right glute. Don't forget to draw the belly in. And arms come out to that T again. We're looking for our eagle wrap of the arms. So the left arm comes underneath the right. Taking hold of the palms, backs of the hands, or shoulders, whatever it is within your grasp. And arms release back to the sky for our low lunge, just in time to set up for half Hanuman. So hands come to the mat as we straighten through the front leg. Left toes flex towards the left shin. And really making sure to turn that foot so the little pinky toe is flexing in towards the shin. Maybe tucking the right toes for extra stability. And breath in, halfway lift. And exhale to fold in a little deeper. On the breath in, let's bend back through that knee, coming back to our low lunge. Arms sweep up overhead. And tucking the back toes if they're not already tucked. You might need to shorten your stance. We're going to push up now into our high lunge. So really engaging that right glute, using the strength of the right glute to push ourselves up off of the mat. Maybe having that gentle bend in the back knee. Belly draws in, gaze is forward. Taking a few breaths in here to really work into some glute strength. And on the next exhale, straightening through the front leg, we hinge at the hips, coming all the way down to the mat into our pyramid, staying high on the back foot this time, but taking as much of a bend in the front leg as you need in order to get those fingertips down to the mat. And just one more breath here. And on the exhale, right knee comes to the mat as we set back up for our low lunge. Arms reach up and overhead. If you haven't tucked or kept those back toes tucked, do so now, because our hands are going to come to frame the front foot and we're going to step back to three-legged dog. So left leg lifts up towards the sky. And on the exhale, left knee comes to the chest just to step through and open up to our warrior two. So windmilling those arms open. Maybe adjusting your stance to lengthen it, because our warrior two is a nice long stand. Heel to heel alignment, and knee is above that ankle, so the left knee. And let's all work to just make sure that left knee is tracking out towards that left side of our mat now. Arms out to a T, belly draws in, gaze is down the middle finger on the left hand. On the breath in, let's straighten the left leg. Reach forward for length, and exhale, hand comes down towards the mat, Trikonasana. Right fingertips are reaching for the sky. The back of the left hand is pushing in to that shin to lever ourselves open. Really engaging those quads to lift the kneecaps up. And the gaze can come up to the right fingertips or be down at the mat, whatever is good for your neck. I have got the sun back out and blazing into my face, so I'm going to close my eyes and enjoy that sunshine. And one more breath here. And on the exhale, bending back through that knee, back to our warrior two. Just for a moment before we set up for our extended side angle. Left forearm comes to the top of the left leg, right arm sweeps up and overhead. And then let's take that right arm back and around into our half bind. So fingertips searching for the left hip crease or the back of the hand on the back of the sacrum, or taking hold of your tights or your shorts, whatever you're wearing. And not dumping weight from that left arm into the left leg. Belly draws in and up. Gaze can be up towards the ceiling or down at the mat. And let's all step the back leg in now. So back foot comes in just a little bit to shorten that stance. Gaze comes to the mat, and our left fingertips are going to reach out for the floor as we come into our half moon. So the right leg lifts up off of the mat. Right toes are flexed, right glute is engaged, draw the belly in. Maybe unravel that top arm. Gaze can stay at the mat or come to the sky. Ooh, wobbles are totally fine. If you fall out, come straight back in. And right foot steps to the top of the mat, release into a fold. Maybe jiggle out through those legs, because I know that my legs are, they're actually feeling a little bit tight today. So giving them a wobble and a little slap can help with some blood flow. Okay, breath in, half lift. And exhale to fold. Inhale, arms reach all the way up and overhead. And exhale, hands through heart center by your sides, closing down the eyes, Tadasana. Let's blink the eyes open. Arms reach up and overhead. And exhale, hands through heart center, staying here at our Anjali Mudra. We're going to take that that weight into our right foot, should I say, and really spreading those right toes nice and wide to plant down into the mat. We're going to draw the left knee into the chest. Remembering our options, we can take the open eagle, which is like a standing figure four, or we can take the full variation with the legs of our eagle and wrap the left knee over the right. You might even be able to tuck those right toes around the left shin. Arms reach out to a T. And we wrap the arms, so left arm comes underneath the right, or maybe taking hold of the shoulders. If you've got the eagle clasp of the arms, maybe bringing those elbows up to be in alignment with the shoulders. And perhaps we just try to come down a little lower, taking the elbows in towards the knees. And don't worry if you fall out of this, just come straight back in. Let's unravel the arms and legs and come back to standing. Maybe giving them a little bit of a shake out. Well done. Arms reach up and overhead. And exhale, hinging at the hips to fold all the way down to the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, stepping back into our down dog. Either resting here in down dog, dropping the knees to the mat to take a rest in child's pose, or alternatively, maybe taking a vinyasa flow. If you're flowing, let's go. Breath in, ripple forward, high plank. Knees on or off, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. And exhale back to our down dog. If you decided to rest in child's pose, pushing back up to down dog, it's time for us to finish up. So breath in, right leg lifts. And exhale, right knee comes to park behind the right wrist, right ankle towards the left wrist, lower the left leg to the mat, setting up for our pigeon. Taking a flex of the right toes towards the right shin, maybe walking that left leg back a little bit. We'll breathe in to lift the chest up and exhale to come forward any amount, folding down to the mat. Maybe resting your head on top of your hands or making little fists. You can rest your head on top of those. And if this does not feel good for your body, then remembering that you can stay lifted or you can come onto your back and take the reclined figure four. So reclined figure four is very similar to what we were just doing before with our eagle legs. We had the open eagle. So remembering to always look after your body and listen to what your body needs. Walking yourself back up if you're not already in a seated position. If you are laying on your back taking the reclined figure four, then just switch legs now. But if you took the pigeon, then maybe just rolling onto the right hip, and you can easily switch legs this way, or you can do that through coming through down dog or taking a flow if that's what you'd like to do. But I am just going to keep it simple and simply switch onto my left leg. Making sure that my left toes are flexed. Breath in to sit up nice and straight. And on the exhale, just folding over that front leg. And don't be surprised if one side is maybe a little bit more open than the other. I know that my left leg is really, or left hip is super tight. It's totally normal to have one side of the body be more open than the other. Pushing back up to seated. If you're on your back in the reclined figure 4, then just stay there because we are about to join you. So if you're in pigeon, then bringing both legs to the front, soles of the feet to the mat, and let's just lower all the way down so that we're all on our backs. Bringing the soles of the feet underneath the knees, roughly hip distance apart, which means that you should just be able to see the outer edge of your ankles if you look on either side. Lower belly draws in, and we're going to slowly peel ourselves off of the mat, coming into our bridge. So glutes engage, really pushing those hips up. You might like to take a bind of the hands underneath the back, and if you've got that, then roll the shoulder blades together. So rolling the shoulders under and then really pushing that fist into the floor to open up. Really engaging those glutes. We'll take 5 breaths here. One more breath. And on the exhale, releasing the bind, slowly lowering down to the mat. Just resting here in neutral. Just allowing your back to bounce back from that back bend. And let's hug our knees into our chest, Uppanasana. Maybe taking a little gentle rock from side to side. Coming into stillness, taking a breath in. And on the exhale, let's draw those knees into the chest. Inhale to release. And exhale to draw the knees into the chest. Inhale to release. And once more, exhale, drawing the knees in. Let's release the left sole of the foot to the mat. Right leg extends up to the sky. And taking hold of the back of the right thigh or the back of the calf or the toe, whatever is in your reach. But really working to draw that right shoulder back down to the mat. So that right leg doesn't need to be completely straight. We want to think about flexing the right toes towards the shins. Maybe extending the left leg long for an extra stretch through the front of the hip flexor. And let's simply swap over to the other side. So taking hold of the left leg now, flexing the left toes. And now both legs lift up. Let's take a bend in the knees. So it's like we're in a reverse tabletop. Arms come out to a T or to a cactus. And we're going to simply drop the legs over to the right side, just coming into a nice simple twist. If there's any other version of a twist that you'd prefer to take, then by all means do so. It might be nice to take an eagle wrap of the legs, since we did do eagle. And inhale, legs come back up through center and simply over to the opposite side, over to the left. Gaze can come over the right shoulder. Legs come back up through center, and taking any last movements or getting any extra layers of clothing, pillows, blankets before we take our Shavasana. And when you're ready, just coming down to the mat, legs taking up some room, letting the feet fall out to the sides, palms face up. Maybe taking a little bit of a tuck of the shoulder blades underneath you. And really letting go of any tension in the body. Since you're in the comfort of your own home, you can take a long Shavasana if you like. But otherwise, we'll be getting on with our day, so wriggling through the fingers and toes. Maybe taking a full body stretch, arms reach up and overhead, pointing through the toes before you roll onto your right side. Keeping the eyes shut, using the left hand to push up into a comfortable seat. Keeping those eyes closed down, let's take our hands to heart center, our Anjali Mudra. Taking a gentle bow of the head. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing your slow yoga flow with me today. And Jess, who is just absolutely dead to the world. I think we're in for a hot day today out here in Mount Camel. I hope you have a wonderful day, and remember to hit subscribe or like below. I think I've actually got twigs and leaves all over me from practicing out here today. I hope to see you on the mat again soon. Namaste.